Chapter 61, Really Broken Defense. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a few more days, my soul power will probably eclipse his. It'd be a huge blow if Tang San became a soul master before I did, even though I used to be the team captain. Tang San, with his control abilities, has really become the heart of the team. Now that his spirit power matches mine, my captain title feels pretty meaningless. Mubai, Tang San sensed the tension, especially from Dai Mubai. He wanted to explain but didn't know where to start. Should he say he didn't realize the fruit was so potent? Or suggest Lu Erlong wasn't playing favorites? Or maybe everyone was getting one of these? None of it felt right. Embarrassed, Tang San just clammed up. Dai Mubai's eyes just grew colder. Lu Erlong, the one who'd started all this, was still clueless. She was just thrilled that Tang San had benefited so much from the fruit. She'd practically stolen those fruits, and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan wouldn't be getting them back now. Yu Shaojiang, standing nearby, noticed the awkwardness, but since his disciple was benefiting, and his theories were being validated, he just offered some polite platitudes and promised good things for everyone. It's not like we're favoring Xiao San. It's just that this fruit is best suited for plant-type martial spirits. Giving it to Xiao San avoids wasting it. But I promise to treat all 7 of you equally. If I find something that suits each of you, I'll do my best to get it. Nobody was a 3-year-old, they could see through the empty promises. Those kinds of words might smooth things over a bit, but they didn't change how people felt. The envy and jealousy remained. Everyone was already in a sour mood, and then they got doused with another bucket of cold water. Good morning, everyone. I have great news. I'm level 38 now. Ning Rongrong rushed back from her sect, eager to share her excitement with her friends. Her voice arrived before she did. She'd practically jogged the whole way, and when she finally stopped, she noticed everyone looked grim, especially Dai Mubai. What's wrong? Why does everyone look so bummed out when my soul powers increased so much? Ning Rongrong had no idea what had happened. She'd come back excited, hoping to share her joy with everyone, but the reaction wasn't what she'd hoped for, and her enthusiasm took a hit. We're not bummed, just a little slow to react. Rongrong, how'd you jump so high? Did you eat something special? You missed it. Xiao San just ate 2 fruits Teacher Erlong brought back, and his soul power jumped 6 levels. Xiao Wu greeted Ning Rongrong with a smile and picked up the story. Because Xiao Wu was essentially a 100,000-year-old soul beast, her previous strength was just trapped in human form. If she worked hard, her training speed could increase dramatically. She didn't need those magical herbs to keep up. She didn't really care one way or another. Seeing Xiao Wu take over, Ning Rongrong perked up again and filled in the details. I ate a magical herb my father bought, called a Chilua tulip. It not only boosted my soul power by 7 levels, to level 38, but also. Shi Yang, who'd been feeling down lately, perked up at something familiar and started peppering her with questions like he'd found a kindred spirit. Chilua tulip. Are you sure it was a Chilua tulip? Did it evolve your martial spirit too? How did you know? That's the other great news. My martial soul evolved into the 8 treasures glazed pagoda. I'm aiming for soul Douluo, not just soul sage. Ning Rongrong's face beamed with happiness, but Shi Yang seemed to snap. He grabbed her hand, practically shaking with excitement. How could it be the 8 treasures glazed pagoda? Eating the Chilua tulip should have evolved your spirit into the 9 treasures glazed pagoda. Why the 8 treasures? You should be 9 treasures. You're supposed to be the only title Douluo with the 9 treasures glazed pagoda, the one who changes the 7 treasures glazed sect into the 9 treasures glazed sect. Shi Yang trailed off, his breathing becoming erratic. Everyone feared he was about to pass out. He took a few deep breaths, and his face paled. Where did you get that Chilua tulip? His behavior was so odd. Ning Rongrong, worried about upsetting him further, hesitated before telling the truth. My father bought it at the Moonlight auction in Moonlight City. He paid 300 million gold soul coins for it. But it was worth it. That amount is nothing to our family. It's just 300 million. What a rip-off. That should have been yours. Shi Yang was losing it. No wonder he'd been waiting so long and still hadn't seen the royal fighting team, or Tang San and Douluo Bo hit it off and get the yin yang eyes of ice and fire. He'd been looking forward to the day the immortal herbs would be distributed, wanting to see what Tang San would give him and how much his spirit power would jump, but he hadn't expected someone to intercept the yin yang eyes of ice and fire. It all seemed like a joke. So despicable. The yin yang eyes of ice and fire should have been yours, third brother. Someone stole our stuff and then sold it for a fortune. Is he obsessed with money? How could he do something so low? Shi Yang rambled on, saying weird things. At first, no one understood, but they were used to it now. Watching Shi Yang shake his head, everyone had the same thought. He's dreaming again. What kind of condition is this? How can he not tell dreams from reality? It's not healthy to take dreams so seriously every day. Don't even. What he said almost sounded true. I almost believed him. I've even dreamed of possessing the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire. Ah, too much wisdom can be a curse. He might be the fastest cultivator among us, but he's also the most pathetic. How could he get such a disease? Chapter 62, Grudges. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, so because Shi Yang would blurt out weird stuff and occasionally use his dreams as an excuse to tell tall tales, everyone just figured he was a little off, you know. Like he had some kind of special condition. I can never tell the difference between a dream and reality. You could see pity in their eyes when they looked at Shi Yang, but for Tang San, that pity quickly turned to a death glare, because Shi Yang spun around and grabbed his hand, spouting some seriously messed up stuff. Third brother, that dude jacked your ice and fire yin-yang eyes and is making a killing off them. He's gonna pay. You gotta find him and then, kill him. He didn't say the last 3 words out loud, but the pure rage and hatred burning in his eyes made it crystal clear what he wanted to do, and what he wanted Tang San to do. He's already marked for death. How could he know about that? This ain't no coincidence. What else is he hiding? It's like he's got a death wish. Dangerous thoughts kept buzzing around Tang San's head, but he shut them down. If he played his cards right, he could squeeze some useful info out of this guy, like that time Douluo Bo put the screws to him, and he found out his dad was actually a title Douluo, even tougher than Douluo Bo. Or how Shi Yang kept trash-talking Spirit Hall, dropping hints that his family had a major beef with them, and that they were bad news. Third brother, are you even listening? That guy ripped off your ice and fire yin-yang eyes, but you can get him back. That place used to be Douluo Bo's turf. He's a poison expert, and so are you, even better than him. You could use that to get in his good graces. Plus, Douluo Bo and his buddies have some serious flaws with their martial souls, always fighting off toxins. With your skills, you could totally help him out with that problem. Before you know it, you'll be pals. Now, that hit Tang San right in the feels. If it went down like he said, having a title Douluo level heavy hitter on your side would be a major score, but figuring out how to hook up with Douluo Bo, that was a whole different ballgame. So, Tang San played along with Shi Yang's crazy talk. I've heard Senior Douluo Bo's poison skills are off the charts. I've always wanted to test my skills with him, but I can't get a foot in the door. I mean, I'm just a small-time soul master. I've got no connection to him. I can't think of a solid reason to drop by. As for Senior Douluo's martial soul having defects, I haven't heard anything about that. Once he knows you're a poison whiz, he'll be all over you. Shi Yang was dying to help Tang San out, but he couldn't think of any legit way, so he just kept spitting out plot points. Hey, why don't we throw down with the Royal Fighting Academy? In Mtlno City, our 2 high-level Soul Master Academies are the big dogs. The conversation took such a sharp turn that everyone got whiplash, but Yu Xiaojiang was already a step ahead, realizing that it was not only possible, but also kinda crucial. Xiao San and Ning Rongrong's spirit power has jumped way up. They need some serious combat training. But the other students at Shrek Academy aren't strong enough to give them a run for their money. We could try a friendly match. Even though Yu Xiaojiang framed it as a suggestion, he'd already made up his mind the moment he said it. He's always been super confident about the Shrek 7. And he wants everyone to know he's the one who coached this all-star team, and the best way to show up the Royal Fighting Academy is to beat them at their own game since the Royal Fighting Academy is more famous. Sounds good to me. I'm rolling with you on this, Xiaojiang. You handle the logistics. Boss Fu and I will take care of negotiating with the Royal Fighting Academy. Lu Erlong jumped on board with Yu Xiaojiang's plan and started doling out assignments based on Yu Xiaojiang's ideas. Alright, let's head home for the day. Get your game faces on. The friendly match is coming up in a few days, and you guys are gonna be the main attraction. Even though they split up, the mood was kinda sour when everyone got back to the dorm, especially for Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun. Dai Mubai was always strutting around because of his fancy background, used to being top dog. Now that Tang San and Ning Rongrong had blown past him, he was feeling a little green, and Ma Hongjun. He's been around the longest of the 7, and he's Dean Flanders' protégé, rocking a top-tier Phoenix martial spirit, but his soul power is dead last among the 7. Right now, the soul power rankings are, Dai Mubai level 39, Tang San level 39, Ning Rongrong level 38, Shi Yang level 35, Xiao Wu level 34, Oscar level 32, and Ma Hongjun level 31. This sucks. I'm a Phoenix, for crying out loud, and I'm at the bottom of the heap. Ning Rongrong, okay, her dad's got the cash to burn on her, but who the heck is Tang San? They're all Shrek Academy students. How does he get all the good stuff? Are you Xiaojiang's students somehow better than Flanders' students? Ma Hongjun, fuming, dragged Dai Mubai out for a drink. Lucky for them, they'd cleaned up at a fighting spirit competition not too long ago, so they were flush with cash. One drink led to another, and before they knew it, they were hammered. Loose lips and all that. Booze doesn't kill your worries, it just numbs your brain, making you relaxed, and under the influence of alcohol, he can say and do things that he dared not say or do before. Of course it's worse. You must have forgotten who used to own this dump. It was Lu Erlong. She's Yu Xiaojiang's wife. If she's not in Yu Xiaojiang's corner and siding with Tang San, something is clearly wrong, okay? Stop whining. Lu Erlong bought it with her own money. She can give it to whoever she wants. We don't get a say in that. We don't get a say in that. We're even here thanks to Master Tang San and his students. They eat the steak, and we just get to lick the gravy. Don't get too big for your britches, and don't get too hopeful. Dai Mubai was also pretty tipsy, and kept going on and on with Ma Hongjun's rant. It sounded like he was trying to tell Ma Hongjun to chill out, but it was more like he was just airing his own frustration, filled with bitterness and resentment. Of course, they knew that the fairy fruit belonged to Lu Erlong and she could give it to whomever she wanted. But understanding didn't mean accepting it, because humans are greedy. I thought I was coming to the big leagues in Tiendo City, but it's even worse than back in Soto City. At least back then, we got some attention. Back then, my teacher cared about me as well as money. Chapter 63 He Deserves to Die. I #039, am going to kill him. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But now, I doubt where I even rank in his eyes. Tang San and Shi Yang probably matter more than me. I'm practically obsolete. Ma Hongjun, having been an orphan for so long, depends on Flanders, who raised him. So, when Flanders doesn't pay him as much attention, he naturally feels resentful. The Dean's a realist. He'll back whoever benefits him the most. Right now, none of us measure up to Tang San. After all, Tang San's a Tang and has a titled Douluo for a dad. You're just his safety net for retirement. Dai Mubai, fueled by bitterness, didn't hold back. Usually, Ma Hongjun would have snapped back at Dai Mubai for saying that, but this time, what Dai Mubai said hit home. Under the influence, they said a lot of things they regretted. The more they complained, the less Shrek Academy seemed to matter. Little did they know, walls have ears. Xue Qinghe overheard their entire conversation from the next room. Tang. Titled Douluo. Xue Qinghe's face darkened. She clenched her wine glass until it shattered, finally snapping her out of it. The only title Douluo with the last name Tang is from the Haotian sect. Tang San is 13 years old. Xue Qinghe had already pieced together Tang San's identity, making her even angrier. She vividly remembered what happened over a decade ago. Back then, a transformed soul beast fell in love with a human soul master, and when their identities were exposed, her father led an army to capture the rare 100,000-year soul beast. Xiaoyu returned seriously wounded and soon died. Around the same time, news broke that the soul master had become a titled Douluo, the youngest in history. If I remember correctly, Dad caught up with a family of 3. If my calculations are correct, that child is exactly Tang San's age. Tang San is Tang Hao's son. That a fierce glint flashed in Xue Qinghe's eyes, the same look she reserved for her enemies. Uncle Shilong, find out everything you can about this Tang San. I want every detail. Xue Qinghe ordered the spirit hall's title Douluo to protect her discreetly. She also sent a letter to Chu Zhao, requesting all information about Tang San, Tang Hao, and Shrek Academy from her scene pavilion. She hadn't forgotten the revenge for her father's death and was eager to settle the score. Keep a close watch on everyone at Shrek Academy. I need all their intel. Xue Qinghe ordered her secret guards to monitor Shrek. She hadn't known much about Shrek before, but during a conversation with Ning Fengji about Ning Rongrong, she learned that Ning Rongrong was attending Shrek Academy. She also remembered Ning Fengji boasting about his daughter and the team she was on called the Shrek 7 Devils. Most of the members were just 12 or 13 years old, yet they all possessed the cultivation level of soul masters, but now, she wanted the full story. Flender, Zhao Wuji, Lu Erlong, the Power Clan, they're all enemies of the Spirit Hall. And Yu Xiaojiang. Seeing the familiar name, Xue Qinghe skimmed through the information from Scene Pavilion. Learning about Yu Xiaojiang's life, she instantly lost control, sweeping everything off the table. He deserves to die. I'm going to kill him. Who the hell is he? He's trash. Xue Qinghe rarely lost her cool like this, and even she couldn't understand why she was so angry. All she knew was that after reading Yu Xiaojiang's file, a nameless rage surged within her, making her want to destroy everything. The Scene Pavilion's report detailed Yu Xiaojiang's entire life, his soul power, his home, everything. It also mentioned Yu Xiaojiang's romantic history. Years ago, when he was around 20, he had a relationship with Bibi Dong, the holy maiden of the spirit hall, and current pope, which suddenly ended. During Yu Xiaojiang's relationship with Bibi Dong, he used their connection to access the spirit hall's library multiple times, borrowing materials. 24 years ago, Yu Xiaojiang and Bibi Dong had a bitter breakup. The reason remains unknown. The following year, Yu Xiaojiang published the 10 Core Theories of Martial Souls, earning him fame and the title of Master worldwide. In the same year, Yu Xiaojiang met Flanders and Lu Erlong. They traveled together and became known as the Golden Iron Triangle. Their martial soul fusion skill allowed them to merge into a golden dragon capable of fighting Soul Douluo without defeat. 20 years ago, Yu Xiaojiang and Lu Erlong fell in love. However, on their wedding night, they discovered Lu Erlong was their uncle Yu Luomian's illegitimate child. They were devastated and left without a word. 7 years ago, at Notting College in Notting City, Yu Xiaojiang took Tang San as his disciple, mentoring him carefully. Last year, he reunited with Lu Erlong at Shrek Academy outside Soto City. Their love was rekindled, and they remarried. Blue Tyrant Academy merged with Shrek Academy, becoming Shrek Academy. Every detail made Xue Qinghe seethe with anger. She wanted to rush to Shrek Academy and kill Yu Xiaojiang, but she had to suppress her rage. She couldn't touch Yu Xiaojiang yet. She knew from Bibi Dong's past reactions that she likely still harbored deep feelings for Yu Xiaojiang. If she killed Yu Xiaojiang, there was a strong chance Bibi Dong would follow the clues and find her. Given their relationship, Bibi Dong, who had long wanted to kill her, would use this as an excuse and would certainly kill her to avenge Yu Xiaojiang. Bibi Dong, you have terrible taste. Falling for someone like him. Xue Qinghe, or Qian Renxue, gripped the desk tightly, staring in a specific direction, a sneer on her face. I can't deal with Yu Xiaojiang right now, but what about Tang San? Qian Renxue knew Tang San was the son of Tang Hao, the man who killed her father, and she couldn't let that go. The fact that Tang San was in Tiando City, less than 100 miles away, made it impossible to suppress her murderous intent. Just as Chu Zhao was preparing to arrange someone to deal with Tang San, another letter arrived. This time, after learning what Qian Renxue wanted, Qian Renxue had special privileges with Chu Zhao. She didn't need permission to buy information. He'd send her the most complete and authentic info right away. Chu Zhao figured out what was going on later. After learning what Qian Renxue was looking for, she immediately guessed what Qian Renxue planned to do. Chapter 64 Bibi Dong is unwilling to believe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What she gave Qian Renxue was a strategy: leverage your strength. You're Xue Qinghe, the heavenly Dou prince. You have no beef with Tang San, so you shouldn't attack him. Besides, you're just a soul saint, no match for Tang Hao. And you're not the only one in this world who hates them. The letter wasn't explicit, but Qian Renxue, being as sharp as she was, immediately got the gist. The idea was to subtly reveal Tang San's identity to Bibi Dong, baiting her into making a move. If it worked, and Tang San ended up dead, half her revenge would be complete. If Tang Hao lost, he'd look for someone to blame, and it wouldn't be her, it would be Bibi Dong, even though it was a bit underhanded. Qian Renxue thought it was a brilliant plan and one she should definitely pursue. This is what Bibi Dong and the Spirit Hall owe me. They can shoulder the risk of Tang Hao's vengeance for a change. Qian Renxue immediately ordered her people to leak the information discreetly. After reading Chu Zhao's letter, her mood lifted considerably. You're helping me plot against Bibi Dong. Seems like I'm still your preferred ally. She always suspected it, and Chu Zhao hadn't exactly denied it. To grow his business, Chu Zhao had allied himself with the Crown Prince of the Tiando Empire and the Pope of the Spirit Hall. As long as it was about business, they were equals in his eyes, but now, Chu Zhao was helping her undermine another ally, making Qian Renxue feel a smug sense of importance. Little did she know, Chu Zhao was just stirring the pot. I didn't expect Tang San's identity to come out so soon. Once Tang Hao and the Spirit Hall start fighting, this continent will descend into chaos. Qian Renxue hadn't anticipated Tang San being exposed so quickly, but she saw it as good news. My chance is coming. Chu Zhao looked towards the Spirit Hall, eyes cold. Her ambitions weren't limited to wealth. Becoming the richest person on the continent was just a stepping stone. What she really wanted was control of the entire continent. I want to become a god, but there may not be a god who will be attracted only by me. I must prepare for both situations. I want to accumulate the power of faith as the master of the continent and become a god with the power of faith. Chu Zhao thought, her ambition hidden behind a calm facade. So, I can only apologize to you protagonists. With that in mind, Chu Zhao poured more fuel on the fire. He leaked information to Bibi Dong about the Li clan suddenly pledging their loyalty to a new master. Of the 4 attribute clans, the Power clan was undoubtedly the most devoted to Tang Hao. The only people who could make them recognize him as their master were Tang Hao himself or someone of Tang Hao's bloodline. I wonder if Tang Hao will figure out I leaked the info and come after me. Chu Zhao said with a hint of anticipation, because she genuinely wanted Tang Hao to confront her. Tang Hao probably had the most insight into her body's true origins. But he was notoriously difficult to find. Even the Spirit Hall hadn't been able to track him down. Chu Zhao was disappointed. Tang Hao didn't surface, not even when the Continental Advanced Soul Master Elite competition was about to begin. In the Spirit Hall, Bibi Dong stared at the 3 reports in front of her, her expression a mix of disbelief and annoyance. The first report stated, Yu Shaojiang is teaching at Shrek Academy and is married to his cousin, Lu Erlong. They are deeply in love. The second, there's a student named Tang at Shrek Academy, suspected to be Tang Hao's son. He's been seen using the Clear Sky Hammer Spirit, and the young master of the Power clan, a single attribute clan, addresses Tang San as young master and recognizes him as their leader. The third, there's a student at Shrek Academy suspected of being a transformed 100,000-year-old soul beast. Why is it always Shrek Academy? What are they up to? What do they want? Bibi Dong was floored that the 3 pieces of information she'd been trying to uncover, information that was incredibly valuable to her, had suddenly landed in her lap all at once. Frankly, it felt too convenient, so convenient, she almost dismissed it as a hoax. Was someone aware she was looking for this kind of intel and deliberately feeding her false information to mislead her? However, further investigation revealed that, aside from the third piece of information which was difficult to verify, the first two were undeniably true. Tang San was indeed Tang Hao's son. They'd lived in a place called Holy Soul Village for 6 years. Yu Xiaojiang was indeed with his cousin, Lu Erlong. Tang San even referred to Lu Erlong as master's wife. 100,000-year-old soul beast. That phrase sounds familiar. That the third report reminded Bibi Dong of the 100,000-year-old transformed soul beast from over a decade ago, which had caused a massive stir throughout the soul master world. The spirit hall had lost countless people because of that incident. As a result, she paid even closer attention to the third report, immediately dispatching her trusted Chu Douluo to Shrek Academy to investigate. Whether it was true or not, it was worth checking out. After all, a juvenile 100,000-year-old soul beast has an unmistakable aura that any soul Douluo or title Douluo could easily detect. As for Tang San, find an opportunity to eliminate him. I don't want to see that person again. Bibi Dong instructed her subordinates. Finally, she was alone with the 3 reports on the table, her eyes fixated on the first for a long time, reading every sentence, every word. She felt a surge of pain. Yu Xiaojiang, he was her first love. How could he fall in love with someone else, especially his cousin? If she'd known things would turn out this way, she would have preferred Yu Xiaojiang to die at the peak of their relationship, rather than this. As Bibi Dong continued to reread the report, a wave of nausea washed over her, and she dry-heaved. Xiao Gang. Why am I not good enough? Why would you choose her, your sister, over me? Or are you trying to get revenge on me? Bibi Dong couldn't accept the information in the first report. She couldn't bear the thought that after being with someone like her, Yu Xiaojiang would still risk societal condemnation and choose a woman inferior to her in every way, a cousin who would be judged by everyone. Therefore, after sending Chu Douluo to investigate the soul beast, Bibi Dong decided to go to Shrek Academy in Mtlno City in person. Chapter 65, The Battle of Title Douluo, The Disaster Affecting Innocent People. You are listening at novelfull.audio. For most people, Mtlno City was as peaceful as ever, but for soul masters, especially the elite ones, the city was buzzing with an unusual energy. After accepting his mission, Chu Douluo didn't slink into Mtlno City unnoticed. Instead, he made a grand entrance, practically announcing his presence to Shrek Academy, hoping to rattle the 100,000-year soul beast and see it crack under pressure. He overestimated Shrek Academy's reaction. The arrival of a new title Douluo in Mtlno City. Barely registered with anyone at Shrek Academy. There's no sign of a soul beast here. Maybe it caught wind of my arrival and bolted. Chu Douluo hovered high above, his gaze sweeping over Shrek Academy, scrutinizing every person within its walls. He detected no trace of a soul beast. Just as he was about to send a message back to the spirit hall, he overheard some excited students chatting after class, and he paused. Come on, let's go. We've got to hurry or we'll miss the 7 Devils match. Who do you think will win? We definitely will. They're all so strong, especially Tang San. That dude lasted a whole incense stick against Grandpa Tai Long. He'll make short work of some soul lords. Totally. The Huangdo students are tough, but we're no slouches either. Victory is ours. Why are you still jawing? The great fighting arena's probably packed already. Let's move. Chu Douluo's ears perked up at the name Tang. Given his prior knowledge about Tang San, Tang Hao's son, he couldn't ignore it. The moment he heard the name, he decided to head to the Mtlno City Soul Fighting Arena, but as soon as he moved, a sudden, chilling premonition washed over him, an overwhelming murderous aura slammed into him. Chu Douluo barely dodged a hammer attack brimming with murderous intent, and spun around in shock to find a towering figure looming behind him. The man was disheveled, his face obscured by a wild mane of hair and beard, but the hammer in his hand was unmistakable. Clear Sky Hammer. You're Tang Hao. Recognition ignited a mix of shock and rage in Chu Douluo. In the eyes of most in the spirit hall, Tang Hao was the one who killed the former Pope Qian Xuanji, making him a hated enemy. As Bibi Dong's confidant, Zhu Douluo held Tang Hao in particular contempt, eager to avenge the past and settle the score. "Jiaoguan, who gave you the guts to mess with my son?" Tang Hao's eyes burned with cold, lethal intent, regarding Zhu Douluo as if he were already dead. Such blatant contempt from his enemy only fueled Zhu Douluo's fury. "What are you talking about? We're mortal enemies. Courage has nothing to do with it." Zhu Douluo's voice, with its feminine lilt, added an unsettling edge to his words. Tang Hao couldn't quite put his finger on it, but the statement rubbed him the wrong way, making him want to smash something, but Tang Hao held back, so Zhu Douluo struck first. Sixth Soul Skill, Golden Rush of Clouds. Typically, top-tier title Douluo avoided fighting in populated areas to minimize collateral damage, but Zhu Douluo harbored no goodwill towards the Shrek Academy below, and disregarded the risk. A wave of golden light surged forward, a beautiful yet deadly soul skill, but against Tang Hao, it fell short. Tang Hao, arrogant and powerful, simply used his second soul skill to shatter Zhu Douluo's sixth. A cold dread crept into Zhu Douluo's heart. Tang Hao was far stronger than before. He had consumed the miraculous mushroom, broken through his bottleneck, and diligently cultivated, raising his soul power to level 96, one level higher than Tang Hao. An impulsive surge of heroism coursed through him. He wanted to test Tang Hao's strength, driven by years of resentment and a fantasy of defeating or even killing him. At the very least, he thought he could give Tang Hao a run for his money. After all, he possessed superior soul power. But this one exchange revealed the truth. Soul power wasn't everything. After just one clash, both men had gauged each other's strength and reassessed their strategies. Shrek Academy, caught in the crossfire, suffered collateral damage. Many students were injured. The screams of the injured students echoed, but neither Tang Hao nor Zhu Douluo shifted their battle from above the school. They seemed to have little regard for the people below. The fallout from a battle between title Douluo was too much for ordinary soul masters to withstand, especially Tang Hao's clear sky hammer. The shockwaves caused the buildings of Shrek Academy to tremble. Students who thought they could hide in the rooms were miserable again. "Senior Haotian, could you please fight somewhere else? The students can't take it anymore." Zhao Wuji, who remained in the courtyard, recognized Tang Hao in the sky. Ignoring the crushing pressure and his fear of the title Douluo, he called out to the combatants. The two must have heard Zhao Wuji, but they ignored him. Seeing this, Zhao Wuji brought up Tang San's name. "Senior Haotian, Tang San may not be here right now, but he is still a student of the academy. He will be studying here for a long time." Tang Hao finally reacted. While Tang San's absence had allowed him to act without restraint, he had to consider Tang San's future. Tang San still had to get along with these classmates. Moreover, all the students in this academy can become Tang San's helpers in the future. It would be a pity to lose them like this, so, Tang Hao said to Zhu Douluo, "Let's take this to the open space up ahead." He wanted to change the location, but Zhu Douluo resisted. This place was perfect for fighting, and it would also draw animosity towards Tang San and Tang Hao. In the early setting of the original work, Zhu Douluo has always been level 95, and the setting here is the same, but the Qirong Tong Tianju was eaten by him, so he broke through the difficult bottleneck of level 95 and stabilized at level 96. Chapter 66 Tang Hao vs Bibi Dong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhu Douluo didn't budge. Specializing in long-range attacks, he immediately unleashed his 8th soul skill at the retreating Tang Hao, successfully halting him, but he also succeeded in infuriating Tang Hao. "If you've got a death wish, don't blame me." Tang Hao whirled around, his killing god domain activated, his aura intensifying. Though he harbored a deep grudge against the spirit hall for his wife's death, he hadn't initially planned to kill Zhu Douluo. Given the location and timing, he was worried about endangering Tang San, who was in the Great Soul Fighting Arena in Tiando City. Now, however, with his anger ignited, Tang Hao cast aside all caution. He simply wanted Zhu Douluo dead. Having provoked his opponent and sensing Tang Hao's sudden surge in power, Zhu Douluo realized his mistake, but it was too late. Escape was impossible. This was no longer a fight, but a one-sided beatdown delivered by Tang Hao. Though the clash between the two title Douluo unfolded at Shrek Academy outside the city, it drew considerable attention. Many of the city's powerful soul masters took notice, among them were Qian Renxue in the Tiando Palace, the Seven Treasures Glazed Tiles sect, and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus sect. All decided to come and watch the spectacle. After all, witnessing such a high-level battle was a rare treat. What's wrong with her? Tang Hao's here, and she sends just one guy to kill Tang San. What good is that? Seeing the badly wounded Zhu Douluo, Qian Renxue couldn't help but silently criticize Bibi Dong for her incompetence. If Zhu Douluo were brutally killed by Tang Hao in broad daylight, the Spirit Hall would lose all credibility. Several powerful figures were present, including titled Douluo from the Seven Treasures Glazed Tiles sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus sect, but none showed any inclination to aid Zhu Douluo. Sword Douluo Xian, however, was eager to step in and assist Tang Hao. You two, go help Zhu Douluo. Don't fight him head-on, just grab him and get out of there. Qian Renxue subtly signaled and instructed the two titled Douluo secretly guarding her. She only specified escape, not a 3-on-1 showdown with Tang Hao. Her sharp mind recognized the situation. Tang Hao, at level 95, was already overpowering Zhu Douluo at level 96. The two titled Douluo protecting her were far weaker than Zhu Douluo. A direct confrontation would only add 2 more victims. Rescuing Zhu Douluo and fleeing was their only viable option, but before her two titled Douluo could intervene, everyone present felt a chilling, terrifying aura of death. A vast, dark purple spiderweb descended from the sky, carrying a cloud of purple poison towards Tang Hao, attempting to ensnare him. The spiderweb was intensely venomous. Tang Hao, lacking any poison resistance, wouldn't allow himself to be trapped. He immediately unleashed his soul power and skills to break free. Though he avoided being caught in the web, he inhaled a significant amount of the poisonous fog and felt a wave of dizziness. Death Spider Queen, she's here. Her presence preceded her skills, and a single soul skill was enough for some to recognize her. Tang Hao, you dare show your face? Bibi Dong, dressed in purple, floated in the air, her beautiful face etched with cold, murderous intent. Bibi Dong, the Pope of the Spirit Hall, radiated noble elegance even in simple attire, inspiring a sense of awe. Bibi Dong, you're here too. Tang Hao shook his head, the dizziness lingering, but he brushed it off. Even with Bibi Dong's arrival, Tang Hao remained unimpressed. He was truly reckless. The death of his wife at the hands of the Spirit Hall was the only true setback he'd faced in his life. He was already arrogant, and now, facing his enemies, he became even more so. Then let me have a go at you, Haotian Douluo. After Bibi Dong signaled the bishop of the Tiando City Martial Spirit Main Hall to evacuate Zhu Douluo, she moved to confront Tang Hao. Alright, let's see if you, the new pope, can throw down as well as the old one. Tang Hao laughed, displaying utter contempt for the Spirit Hall. Tang Hao, Qian Renxue, standing near Ningfengji, clenched her fists, her heart seething with hatred. She cursed her own weak soul power that prevented her from joining the battle. Considering her innate level 20 soul power, it was embarrassing that she was still just a soul sage in her 20s. Qian Renxue conveniently forgot that she was an undercover agent. To maintain her cover, she had to conceal her training. She had devoted precious little time to practice in the last decade. It was actually remarkable that she possessed such soul power. Her only regret was her inability to fight Tang Hao and her lack of strength. What infuriated her even more was the fact that Bibi Dong and Tang Hao had only been fighting briefly. Qian Renxue could tell that Bibi Dong was holding back and unable to fight at full power, putting her at a disadvantage. This was outrageous, especially with so many spectators. If the Spirit Hall Pope actually lost to Tang Hao, the Spirit Hall would be humiliated. Enough. Qian Renxue infused her soul power into her voice and interrupted the fight with a clear shout. Your Holiness, Haotian Douluo, this is the Tiando Imperial City, not the Haotian sect, and certainly not Spirit Hall City. You shouldn't be acting so recklessly here. Destroying my city and hurting my people is a bit much. Her soul-enhanced voice carried clearly to both fighters. Even without deliberately shouting, it was natural for Qian Renxue to intervene as Xue Qinghe, the crown prince of the Tiando Empire, and both Bibi Dong and Tang Hao had to listen out of respect for the Tiando Empire. Both secretly welcomed the chance to stop, but feared the other would press on and gain the upper hand. Seeing this, Qian Renxue nearly laughed in exasperation. This is the Tiando Imperial City. If you two act so recklessly here today, I fear you'll destroy our Tiando Empire in the future. These words escalated the situation further. Even if they didn't want to stop, Bibi Dong and Tang Hao had no choice. Even titled Douluo couldn't casually defy an entire empire. It was simply unwise. The two finally disengaged, and Qian Renshu sighed in relief. Her fingertips were digging into her palms. She loathed both Tang Hao and Bibi Dong and wished they would fight to the death, but for the sake of appearances and the overall situation, she had to speak against her own desires. After 13 years undercover, she felt less and less like herself. Tiando Crown Prince Xue Qinghe. Well, well. Tang Hao fixed his gaze on Qian Renshu. Perhaps it was his natural disposition, but his expression and tone were harsh. His piercing gaze seemed to penetrate all of Qian Renshu's disguises, making her deeply uncomfortable. Chapter 67 Please attack Haotian Douluo Tang Hao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That intense gaze seemed to pierce through all of Qian Renshu's disguises. Tang Hao's eyes made her deeply uncomfortable. She wanted to look away, but knew she couldn't. All she could do was endure his stare. Of course she's great. If she wasn't, I wouldn't give her the time of day. A clear, cheerful voice rang out as a figure suddenly appeared between Qian Renshu and Tang Hao, shielding her from him. Well, hello there, Uncle Tang. Long time no see. Where have you been hiding all these years? Tang San and I have been looking everywhere for you. Chu Zhao craned her neck, looking up at Tang Hao floating in the sky. This was an unexpected surprise. She'd heard Bibi Dong was headed to Shrek Academy, so she thought she'd drop by, not expecting to walk into a full-blown battle and run into Tang Hao, master of disappearing acts. Of everyone she knew, Tang Hao was the king of hide-and-seek. Nobody on the entire continent ever knew where he was. Chu Zhao only had a hunch that Tang Hao was lurking near Tang San, but the search area was too vast. What could she do if he didn't show his face? It's you. Still kicking, huh? Tang Hao recognized Chu Zhao instantly. He had figured she wouldn't last 10 years ago, yet she'd stubbornly survived. His surprised tone, as if her being alive was an oddity, sounded grating. Chu Zhao forced an awkward smile. Geez, you make it sound like you were betting on my demise. I'm alive and well, thank you very much. Even if you die, I'll still be around. Chu Zhao added silently. Temporary mission, attack Haotian Douluo Tang Hao. Completion grants a 10% aura enhancement. Successful attack with negative impact on Haotian Douluo awards an additional 2-year increase to all soul rings. Chu Zhao. Is this Death God training system off its rocker? She just became a soul king. Before, she was tackling soul sages, and now she's supposed to take on a titled Douluo. Tang Hao is a total cheat. With only level 95 soul power, he can crush titled Douluo with higher soul power. He even managed to kill the Pope with a single hammer, despite everyone's efforts. If you just want me to die, fine, just say so. Whether you live or die is your business, but you'd better stay away from Xiao San. Tang Hao glared coldly at Chu Zhao, eyes full of disdain, as if she were an ant. With this threat delivered, he turned to leave. His attitude and words rubbed Chu Zhao the wrong way. The girl, instead of getting angry, just laughed like a mannequin. She flashed an innocent smile at Tang Hao and called out. Leaving already, Uncle Tang? Don't you want to see Xiao San? He'll be back any minute, and he's been thinking about you non-stop for years. Chu Zhao's words didn't stop Tang Hao. He kept moving to leave, and just as his figure was about to disappear, Chu Zhao suddenly zipped in front of him. Sorry, Uncle Tang, Xiao San misses you a ton. He'll be back any second, so you really need to stay put until he gets here. If he finds out I saw you and didn't make you stay, he'll be so mad. How fast, that was everyone's first thought, how brave, that was everyone's second, how audacious, that was what everyone thought as Chu Zhao unleashed her soul skills on Tang Hao. Third soul skill, Undead Thorns. Countless blood-red thorns erupted from the sea of blood, forming a tight cage, trying to trap a titled Douluo at the top of the food chain. this was the soul skill of a 13-year-old girl. The sight of the sea of blood appearing above Shrek Academy created a solemn and chilling atmosphere. Considering the power of her soul skills and her age, she was definitely the best of the best among her generation. Still, she was facing a title Douluo, and not just any title Douluo, but the Haotian Douluo of the Haotian sect, who once shook the world and became a legend. Playing with fire. Tang Hao sneered. Mercy was not in his vocabulary. He immediately used brute force to break free from the constricting sea of thorns, figuring the backlash would seriously injure, if not kill, Chu Zhao, but Chu Zhao seemed to have anticipated his move. As he exerted his power, the thorn cage dissolved, and two pairs of black wings crackling with electricity sprouted from Chu Zhao's back, whisking her out of Tang Hao's attack range. Keen observers noticed that as the wings appeared, Chu Zhao's aura surged, becoming almost comparable to that of some strong, attack-oriented soul sages. So, you are pretty strong. Guess I'll have to figure out a way to help Tang San keep you around. Chu Zhao mentioned Tang San in every sentence, giving her actions a seemingly legitimate reason. It wasn't some soul king overestimating herself and challenging a title Douluo, it was just a girl willing to risk her life for a friend. Having just received the 10% boost, Chu Zhao now had her sights on the reward of increasing the lifespan of all her spirit rings by 2 years. She was motivated. She now had 5 spirit rings on each of her 2 martial spirits, so the reward was equivalent to a 20-year spirit ring. At first glance, it seemed like the system was being stingy. I'd like to see how you plan to keep me here. Even though Chu Zhao had evaded the attack, the look Tang Hao gave her remained unchanged, still disdainful and contemptuous. Tang Hao wasn't alone in thinking that. Everyone thought Chu Zhao was delusional if she thought she could hold back a title Douluo. Everyone else was just watching the show, except for Qian Renxue, who gazed at Chu Zhao with worry in her eyes. If Qian Renxue didn't know Chu Zhao so well and wasn't sure she wasn't the type to act recklessly without a plan, she would have stepped in to stop her a long time ago. I'll call for backup, of course. Chu Zhao forced a smile, flicked her wrist, and a red flare appeared, which she immediately launched. A special symbol of an angel's arrow appeared and lingered in the air, catching everyone's attention, even Tang Hao's. He racked his brain, trying to figure out where he had seen or heard of the symbol. Chu Zhao seized the moment to activate her soul skill, and her 4th soul ring, disguised as purple, lit up. 4th soul skill, Arrow of the Undead. The arrow, formed from the death energy of the undead, sliced through the air with incredible speed, leaving a bloody arc, and shot straight toward Tang Hao's abdomen. Chapter 68. Is she so popular? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The undead arrows were super fast, packing a deathly punch, but Tang Hao, a title Douluo, was no pushover. He was way stronger than her and could handle Chu Zhao's soul skills, no problem, or so he thought. He decided to show off by catching Chu Zhao's 4th soul skill with his bare hands, grabbing the arrow of death energy and squeezing, like he could crush it. Big mistake. The second he grabbed the arrow, he recoiled like it burned him. What the? Tang Hao stared at his bloody palm in disbelief. Everyone gasped. His hand was a mess of blood, the legendary Haotian Douluo, hurt by a 13-year-old. Nobody would believe it. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. I didn't think a little old me could actually hurt a title Douluo like you. Chu Zhao, acting all panicked, started tearing up, but inside, she was doing a happy dance, another reward from the Death God Development System. Her spirit rings just aged up another 20,000 years, a few more rounds of this, and her soul rings would be completely red. You've got guts, kid. Tang Hao, finally losing his cool, summoned his clear sky hammer, ready to smash Chu Zhao into paste. The massive hammer loomed over her, way bigger than she was. Stop! Qian Renxue yelled, moving towards Chu Zhao, worried she'd lose control. Bibi Dong, who hadn't gone far, had planned to save Chu Zhao, the young genius who dared to challenge Tang Hao. When she saw Qian Renxue move, she immediately used her soul power. Just then, a young guy shouted, sounding frantic. Dad, no! It was Tang San and his crew, back from their competition. They'd heard the commotion at Shrek Academy and rushed over, just in time to see Tang Hao about to attack Chu Zhao. Everyone turned to look, and Tang San recognized them instantly. Xiao Wu recognized Chu Zhao too, they both bolted toward Chu Zhao. Tang San unleashed his blue-silver grass martial spirit, the vine snaking around Chu Zhao's waist and yanking her into his arms. "Xiao Chu, what did you do to piss off this lunatic?" A clear voice cut through the air, and a bright, chilling light flashed past Chu Zhao, hitting Tang Hao. Chu Zhao, who just wanted to stir things up, couldn't believe so many people were jumping to her rescue. She was stunned. Was she really that popular? Xian Renxue, Bibi Dong, Tang San, Xiao Wu, and Guang Ling, all rushing to save her, even Ning Fengji and Jian Dao Chen Xian from the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect were thinking about it, hands raised until they saw Bibi Dong jump in, with Guang Ling blocking in front and her own son pulling her back. Bibi Dong charged forward. Tang Hao was speechless. What had he done to deserve this mob coming after him? Even his own son was against him. Seeing Tang San protecting Chu Zhao, Tang Hao felt like he was going to puke, and he did, spitting out blood. Everyone was confused, they hadn't thought Tang Hao's injury was that severe. Following his gaze, they saw Tang San shielding Chu Zhao, and heard him calling out anxiously. "Dad! What's wrong?" For a second, everyone wondered if Tang Hao had just gotten so mad he'd thrown up, and even then, Tang San was still holding Chu Zhao's hand, protecting her behind him. "You okay?" Tang Hao glared at Tang San, furious. The air crackled with power, but it was aimed at Tang San. A gust of wind howled, and then 3 people were gone. Tang Hao had vanished, taking Tang San and Chu Zhao with him. His plan was to grab Tang San, knowing he couldn't win a fight while injured, but Tang San was still holding Chu Zhao's hand, and the blue-silver grass was wrapped tight around her waist. So they were basically stuck together. Tang Hao only realized Chu Zhao was connected after he'd already grabbed Tang San. He wanted to kill her right then and there, but Tang San, ever the loyal son, stepped between them again. "Dad, this is Zhao Zhao. Is there some kind of misunderstanding?" Tang Hao laughed, a harsh, angry sound. He reached out to shove Chu Zhao away, but Tang San moved with lightning speed, pulling Chu Zhao close, using himself as a shield. "She's my friend. I don't want you to hurt her, Dad." "So, you'd rather she hurt me, your own father?" Tang Hao couldn't bring himself to attack Tang San, so he stopped, but he was seething at his son's behavior. "Huh? Dad, are you kidding?" Tang San's gaze dropped to the spirit rings circling Tang Hao's feet, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black, and 1 red. 9 rings, proof of a powerful title Douluo. "You're a title Douluo, right? Zhao Zhao's just a soul master. How could she possibly hurt you?" Tang San still thought it was a misunderstanding, trying to smooth things over. "Soul master, my foot. She's at least a soul sect leader. You don't even know how strong she is, and you call her a friend? I bet she doesn't see you that way." Tang Hao's anger was still boiling, his eyes spitting fire at Chu Zhao. He was about to really let her have it, but Tang San, after a moment of surprise, had already come up with an explanation. "Zhao Zhao probably just broke through recently, and I forgot. I'm almost a soul sect. She's more talented than me, and she works harder, so it makes sense she'd get there first." Tang Hao, if the time wasn't so serious, he'd send Tang San back for a serious attitude adjustment. He used to be such a good, obedient kid. Now he was just annoying. "Zhao Zhao, what happened between you and Dad?" Seeing Tang Hao was in no mood to talk, Tang San turned to Chu Zhao, wanting to hear her side of the story. "I came to Tiando City looking for someone. When I walked past Shrek Academy, I saw people fighting, and one of them looked like your dad, so I stopped. I talked to your dad for a while, trying to get him to stay and meet you. I know you've always wanted to see him and you miss him a lot. I just wanted to help you keep him here, so you could at least see him once. I just attacked him. But I only wanted to keep him here. I didn't think I could actually hurt a title Douluo." Chapter 69, The Filial Son Tang 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I swear, I didn't mean to. If I'd known I could actually hurt a title Douluo, and especially Uncle Tang, I never would have used my fourth spirit skill. Chu Zhao sounded genuinely remorseful. She even teared up a little. Tang San had been feeling a bit resentful that Chu Zhao had actually hurt Tang Hao. But seeing her cry, and knowing she'd done it all for him, he instantly forgave her. She's so young. Even if she did get hurt, it would just be a scratch, like an ant bite. It's not your fault. You were just being careful. Besides, I should be thanking you. You helped me keep my dad around. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen him again this time. Seeing Tang San actually comforting Chu Zhao, Tang Hao's expression darkened. He's not my son anymore. Who cares about my injury? But thinking about the wound, Tang Hao felt a wave of shame and wanted to drop the subject altogether. He still couldn't wrap his head around why Chu Zhao's spirit skills were so powerful. It didn't make any sense. Dad, where have you been these past 6 years? People said you were always watching over me. Is that true? Because I couldn't see you. I really missed you. After comforting the guilty Chu Zhao, Tang San looked up at Tang Hao, his eyes filled with admiration, affection, and joy. Quit acting so shy. You're acting like you're afraid to speak. I'm not dead, am I? Tang Hao was still angry with Tang San, so he was picking a fight, but Tang San didn't seem to care. Just seeing his father was enough. It didn't matter what his father said or did. Chu Zhao, watching from the sidelines, wanted to applaud. They're supposed to be father and son, right? Tang Hao was lucky to have Tang San, the time traveler obsessed with family, as his son. If his son had been an ordinary guy, Tang Hao would have died 1,000,000 times over and never lived to awaken his martial spirit. Where else would Tang Hao find such a talented, loving son to carry out his revenge and clean up his messes? As for Tang San, he's a whole other story. Let's just say, if Chu Zhao were in his shoes, meeting a father like Tang Hao, he'd be too soft not to kill him. Dad, please don't leave again. Can't you stay with me, even for a year? No, a few months would be fine. Tang San was so starved for love. He loved Tang Hao so much that even when getting yelled at, he just pitifully begged for his company. Are you a toddler who needs someone holding your hand? You're the one who wanted to become a spirit master. You've got to make your own way. I can't control everything. As he spoke, Tang Hao shot a glance at Chu Zhao, knowing that annoying son of his would protect her. He couldn't just kill her, he was ready to take off, no goodbyes necessary. Knowing he was about to bolt again, Chu Zhao nudged Tang San, who immediately lunged to stop him. The blue-silver grass wrapped around Tang Hao's body, desperate to hold him back. Dad, please don't go. Please. If you have to, take me with you. Please, Dad, take me with you. His emotions overflowed, and his voice cracked with tears. No one expected Tang San to actually start crying. Looking at the blue-silver grass wrapped around his waist, remembering his dead wife, and hearing Tang San's sobs, Tang Hao finally softened. Although, the bigger reason was that he suddenly remembered that after their little scene, Tang San was now firmly on the Spirit Hall's radar. And his previous fight had only made them hate him more, and not just the Spirit Hall, but the Tiando royal family, too. Tang Hao's eyes landed on Chu Zhao. He'd noticed Xue Qinghe paying attention to her. He'd even heard whispers about the Tiando crown prince wanting to marry some orphan girl as his crown princess. He realized he'd unwittingly made his son a target for everyone. He was worried Tang San would get killed. Then where would he find a son who could actually be useful? I'll stay with you until your competition is over. Tang Hao knew what Tang San was hoping for. He knew that Tang San wanted him to watch him participate in the All-Continental Advanced Soul Master Elite competition, so he asked him to stick around for at least a year. But Tang Hao glanced at Chu Zhao again, his murderous intent still there, in his eyes. Chu Zhao was a disaster waiting to happen, not to mention the fact that she humiliated him in front of everyone and actually hurt him, a title Douluo. But Tang San stood his ground, words ready to shield Chu Zhao. Dad. Zhao Zhao really doesn't mean any harm. She just wants to help a friend of mine. You've only known her for a few days. How can you be so sure she has good intentions? I'm your father. I'm the only one who'll never hurt you. I'm doing this for your own good. Tang Hao shot back, forcibly separating the two of them and raising his hammer to strike Chu Zhao. I've known her longer than you have. You can't just kill her for no reason. She's my best friend. Tang San tried to jump in front of Chu Zhao again, but Tang Hao's power pinned him in place. He could only try to stop him with words, but the more he defended Chu Zhao, the more Tang Hao wanted to kill her. Chu Zhao was also surprised that Tang San would call her his best friend and care so much about her. But that didn't stop her from taking advantage of the situation to boost Tang San's impression of her. Xiao San, don't struggle. You'll only hurt yourself. Chu Zhao said sadly, making it clear that even with death closing in, he was worried about Tang San. Actually, he was annoyed that Tang San was delaying him. He had already started connecting the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire, preparing to teleport to this treasure land. Seeing how much Chu Zhao cared about him, how could Tang San not be moved? He struggled even harder. Tang Hao raised the human-sized clear sky hammer high above his head, ready to slam it down on Chu Zhao. If it hit, Chu Zhao would definitely die. Stop. Please, don't kill her. Tang San could only weakly beg, but it didn't make a difference. Tang Hao, you're a real monster. You wouldn't even let teenage girls get off. You really disgraced the title of Douluo. Just as the clear sky hammer was about to fall and Chu Zhao was about to pull a rabbit out of his hat, a pleasant young voice rang out, and an icy force met the clear sky hammer head-on. A young man made of ice and snow stood in front of Chu Zhao, glowing like a light bulb. Well, it actually does glow. Who are you? Someone from the spirit hall. Tang Hao's attack was blocked by Guangling, and he looked at the guy who looked only a teenager with some surprise. Chapter 70 Acting Trio. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Tang Hao became a big name on the continent, Guangling and others were already retiring, so he didn't know him. Tang Hao just assumed anyone showing that kind of hostility must be from the spirit hall. Do I have spirit hall tattooed on my forehead or something? Guangling felt a surge of anger towards Tang Hao and wanted to confront him directly. Seeing Chu Zhao constantly targeted by Tang Hao, he felt protective of Xiaoxue. It was bad enough that her own father died because of Tang Hao, but now he was setting his sights on her fiancée, determined to kill her. Whatever beef he had, he was taking it out on her. Guangling's aura was even stronger than Zhu Douluo's and Bibi Dong's combined. Tang Hao, already weakened from his previous fight with two Douluo and aggravated old injuries, knew he couldn't win. He grabbed Tang Hao and bolted. He was out of there. That guy's faster than a cockroach. Guangling didn't give chase, letting the arrow fly past. He was there for Chu Zhao, and her safety was his priority. Hey Chu, you've got a knack for stirring up trouble. You managed to piss off a lunatic like Tang Hao. Guangling joked with a smile, actually in much better spirits. You came. And so fast. Chu Zhao's almond eyes widened with surprise. She'd only fired the flare as a test, more to distract Tang Hao so she could launch a surprise attack. She hadn't really expected Guangling to show up. You little minx, you're practically family. Of course I'd come. It makes me happy you thought of me first when you were in trouble. A person feels good when they know they're trusted. I'm glad I didn't cause too much trouble. Chu Zhao was touched, and her smile became genuine. Achoo, Qian Renshue's voice carried from a distance. Chu Zhao looked over to see Qian Renshue land gracefully, folding up her white swan wings. That camouflage soul bone was seriously impressive. It could disguise angel wings as swan wings. No wonder no one suspected a thing so far. Your Highness. Chu Zhao smiled at Qian Renshue as she approached, then glanced at Guangling. What a perfect opportunity and excuse to meet. Prince Jiando grateful to the strongman who saved his beloved fiancée. Totally normal for them to have dealings with each other. You two go chat. I'll keep watch. Chu Zhao said, picking out a tall tree and leaping into its branches to act as a sentry. She didn't eavesdrop, but she noticed both of them seemed much happier after the conversation. This is Chu. You two have met. Like I said in my letter, Chu is my best ally, my best and only friend. Qian Renshua's words emphasized one thing: Chu Zhao was incredibly important to her, and your best shield. Chu Zhao added drily. Qian Renshue and Guangling both laughed, but Qian Renshue looked a little sheepish. Are you still harping on about that? Fine, I was wrong. I shouldn't have used you as a shield. When I get back, I'll fake affection for someone else and find a different shield. It's just that the crown princess of Tiando has always had a large fiefdom. Why is it that the fiefdom of the viscount and baron is so large that it can be compared to the fiefdom of the marquis for countless generations? I wonder who will get such a large piece of land when the time comes. Qian Renshue knew how to push Chu Zhao's buttons. She said it half-jokingly, and Chu Zhao immediately took the bait. She immediately stopped being a shield and pushed the identity of the crown princess onto herself. Of course it's my turn, my dear prince. I am your destined princess. You can't be a heartless man and fall in love with someone else. My dear. Alright, settle down. Is there nothing in this world that you miss? That she accidentally went too far and disgusted Qian Renshue, and even disgusted herself. Only old Guangling thought it was funny and joined in. The most important thing is that you two live a good life. As long as you're okay, I'm at ease. Your Highness, someone's coming. I should head out. Call me if you need anything. Guangling was prepared to put on a show for a while longer, but he sensed more auras approaching, mostly from Shrek Academy. He didn't feel like dealing with strangers, so he took off. The situation was resolved anyway. As soon as Guangling vanished, several figures appeared in the grove. It was the Shrek Academy crew, along with 2 people from the 7 Treasures Glazed Tiles sect. Your Highness, the Crown Prince. Chu Zhao, why are you the only one here? Where are Xiao San and the others? That Yu Xiaojiang, barely having gotten his bearings, immediately started firing off questions, looking extremely anxious. For some reason, he was worried. Tang San wasn't kidnapped by enemies, but taken by his own father. Could there be any danger? Xiao San was taken away by his father. Chu Zhao answered honestly, but Yu Xiaojiang immediately started blaming Chu Zhao, leaving her speechless. Why did you let Xiao San be taken? Aren't you good friends? You should have stopped him. Chu Zhao, she was so mad she laughed at Yu Xiaojiang. How was this her fault? What position did she have to stop a father from taking his own child? The one who took Tang San was his father, a titled Douluo. How exactly was I supposed to stop him? Chu Zhao thought Yu Xiaojiang would be stumped, but she underestimated him. Even if he's Xiao San's father, he can't just take him away against Xiao San's wishes. You're Xiao San's good friend, shouldn't you help him? Shouldn't you prioritize his desires? Chu Zhao was speechless, dumbfounded that Yu Xiaojiang could actually say such a thing. Mr. Yu Xiaojiang, watch your words. Qian Renshue and Chu Zhao stood shoulder to shoulder, Qian Renshue speaking coldly to Yu Xiaojiang. Hearing Qian Renshue's voice, Yu Xiaojiang looked up and met Qian Renshue's gaze, which startled him. The look from the prince, always known for his gentleness and grace, was so cold, like he was looking at a dead man. Chu is my fiancée, the woman I love. I won't allow anyone to disrespect her in my presence. Prince Tiando declared loudly. Everyone's eyes turned to Chu Zhao. Bibi Dong, lurking in the shadows, was caught off guard by those words. She flinched, a trace of unstable energy escaping and revealing her location. Donger. Is that bitch Bibi Dong chasing after us?